The case for Matt Rife. Imagine hating having a woman audience so much that you choose to repel them by opening with a domestic violence joke, one that also isn't funny, right? Saying, oh, me and my friend walked into a bar, the hostess had a black eye, my friend said, wow, shouldn't she be in the back in the kitchen? Like, why is this the face of the company? And I said, well, if she could cook, I bet she wouldn't have gotten that black eye. And we were all supposed to laugh at that as he continued to ask why we're blaming things on Mercury, as if we didn't see that on Twitter 5 years ago, and talking about girls with crystals. Oh, drop girls with crystals. This stuff isn't like original misogyny. If you're gonna be misogynistic, make it original. If you're gonna call it comedy and it's gonna be misogynistic, make it original. Like, again, I have a sense of humor. You know what I mean? I'm sensitive. Okay, I'm a Pisces, I'm sensitive, and I'm a woman who cares about other women, and I don't think women getting hit in the face because they can't cook is funny. And I would love for anyone to explain to me how it's funny. Because men are still in my comments saying, oh, you just don't get it. You just don't get it and you're so offended. I want to make a disclaimer. I am not personally offended by Matt Rife. I think he's a misled sheep. And I feel bad that he decided to tank his career in the name of male validation. Okay? I am by no means offended. Go ahead and lose all of your money. Go ahead and lose all of your fans. I'm always, first and foremost, interested in the socio-political analysis of pop culture and trying to keep my finger on the pulse of what is happening and what that says about where we are in history right now. And even something as random as Matt Rife, I'm also obviously very interested in comedy. Even something as random as a stand-up comedian who got his teeth fixed, right? To become more conventionally attractive and then got kind of upset that it worked and that it worked a little too well, or maybe the fact that it worked better than his comedy did. And the fact that maybe he felt insecure that here's the thing. I think that the way his crowd work was coming across, I didn't see very much of it. It's not really my algorithm. My algorithm doesn't think that I think white boys are funny. My impression from people who seem to like him before is that the crowd work was very something women would like. And also, of course, he is easy on the eyes. Again, allegedly, according to y'all. Not exactly my type, but I can understand. I can see what they're saying. He looks like he has very blue eyes and very standy-uppy hair. He comes off very frat bro-y to me, which is fine if that's your stick, right? But I think where we run into almost a convolutedness, that's not a word, but you know what I'm saying, of what we are trying to say when we're talking about domestic violence jokes not being funny and crystal jokes being tired, is that I've seen some people compare Matt Rife right now to Dave Chappelle and some of the bad jokes that Dave Chappelle has done. Now, I don't think that Dave Chappelle's jokes are always appropriate, and I think he says a lot of things that are really inappropriate. However, I can recognize that Dave Chappelle has skill when it comes to writing. I can tell that he's a comedian, he knows how to write stories, he's a storyteller, and he has a certain skill set. I don't think Matt Rife has that skill set. So in addition to, because Dave Chappelle has said some things that I don't mess with, and I don't personally watch Dave Chappelle, but when I have seen him, I can recognize a skill set. You know what I mean? A skill set that comes with comedic timing and joke telling and punchlines and things that Matt Rife didn't have. Because the problem was, we weren't laughing, and some people are saying, oh, the laugh track was still loud. I went to one tiny taping of a live stand-up show once, and they make you laugh. They force you to laugh. And there's also such a thing as audio editing. So I don't believe that those laughs are genuine. No way. Especially because I saw one of my mutuals on TikTok talking about how she had gone to a Matt Rife stand-up show a while ago. I don't know how long ago. But she said she had liked his presence online and the videos she had seen of him online. And then her and her friend went in person and they didn't laugh once. And not only is that so awkward, but it just goes to show that this isn't even about being offended. It's about the fact that the storytelling and the joke telling wasn't good already. and your entire goal seemed to just be to distance yourself from the very people that made you famous in the name of male validation. I don't think men like him anymore because, I mean, according to people in my comments and according to a lot of the content that I've seen and reviews about his special, which I only got halfway through, I want to be honest. A lot of people force their boyfriends and husbands to watch the special with them, like a lot of girls, and then their boyfriends, husbands, whatever, would be like, what is he talking about? Like, what is he saying? And not laughing because it wasn't funny. Like, objectively, it was an objectively unfunny special for, I think, at least like 60 to 70% of viewers. But that's not even the main issue. Is that his main audience that built him and gave him that platform in the first place is women, and then he betrayed them and smacked them in the face and said, you know, even though I got here because of you, I am now going to basically dehumanize you, because people don't understand, like, jokes like that, there is nothing about it is funny except that you think it's funny to joke about dark topics like women getting hurt. Like, you find humor in that the same way a white person finds humor in saying the N-word. They find a certain, like, mischievous joy in it that isn't humor. But I think some people really cannot, for some reason, differentiate in their head if something is funny because they're not supposed to touch it and they feel like they're having fun getting away with something and being like, ha 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 ha, versus something genuinely being comical. Like, they think that it's funny because it's something that they're not allowed to touch and they're touching it the same way white people, again, I don't know any white people that use the N-word, but when you hear about people talking about it, they're like, oh, it was just a joke. It was just a joke. It was just a joke. You know how some people can't figure out where that line is? But I just think if you're truly funny, you don't need to be tiptoeing across that line. And the thing is, like, men don't really care about those topics as, like, the gripping substance unless they're, like, just the red pill guys that are, like, their whole agenda is to dislike women. Like, men didn't find his special funny because it wasn't funny. You know what I mean? Like, and I also think men don't necessarily like pretty boys like that. Like, they want more rugged male comedians than that. Like, that's, you know, not that many guys even like John Mulaney. John Mulaney's too pretty for a lot of guys. John Mulaney is less pretty boy than Matt Rife. So for Matt Rife to attract a male audience, which I guess would help his self-confidence, it wouldn't help his dollars, right? Like, women spend a lot of money. And, like, throughout time, a lot of times it's been women's job to determine what we spend money on. Consumerism has a lot to do with women. So it's very crazy to decide to alienate your audience and act like you can automatically catch the flip side just like that. No, you would need to make a real joke, not one that's dependent on the oppression of others. And I feel like sometimes if you are not in that oppressed group, you think that making jokes about that oppressed group is funny. But it's not, and true comedians don't need to do that. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Matt Rife. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Add me on Instagram and Twitter @Kiribria. Live off love. Bye.